Sex for grades is a topic most are aware of, either as undergraduates or graduates of various institutions. On our Spotlight segment today is Nollywood producer Emma Udo, who sheds light on her journey through telling the educational and inspiring story behind her new movie, Sex for Grades.
My new movie called Sex for Max is actually from the stables of Jodeci Films Production. And Jodeci Films Production is owned by the CEO himself, Jude Richard. And in Jodeci Films Production, we actually do a lot of movies, not just the English aspect, we actually go on Yoruba and Igbo itself. So the new movie we have right now presently is Sex for Max. And Sex for Max is actually a cinema movie, and was actually directed by the legendary Teku Benson, produced by myself, Inodo, and the executive producer, Jude Richard. And Sex for Max is something that we actually took time. The board, that is me, myself, the director, the executive producers, we sat down to actually analyze, okay, we want to do this movie, not just an ordinary movie people just see every day, something that will pass a message to the society. So we actually had to go down and have a research. Went to the schools, we asked questions from students, we did a proper research before actually coming out to write out the script called Sex for Max, before we could even go on set to shoot it. So whatever you see in the movie is actually what is really happening in schools.
You understand what just happened now? Looks like I'm just coming out of a trance.
This thing has everything to do with my gender, and I'm not going to take it sitting down.
They want grades. We want fun.
Will you get down from there?
Sex for Max, people hearing the name will actually think is what they are used to, Lecturers actually harassing students, as in, give me what you have to take what you want. But in Sex for Max, like I said, we took our time to have research over this. So sometimes it's not what you hear. Most times it's not really what really happens 100. In Sex for Max, it's not the normal thing, like students always being harassed per se. Yes, students most times are harassed by lecturers, but in Sex for Max, we got to realize that even lecturers themselves are victims. Not most of them can really speak out about it, because you know why? Because most of these students that actually harassed them have a higher body protecting them. You understand? So if the lecturers try to say anything, they could get, expelled or as in suspended or anything from their job you get. So in Sex for Max, the reverse is the case, because the lecturer was actually harassed. And watch the rest. I won't say more than that. Actually, I have to be honest, this is my first time working with most of these stars, and it was a very big privilege for me being a producer to all these top faces. But I have to be honest, I'm working with Sam Dede especially, who had to fly down to Lagos from Port Harcourt because he's based there as a lecturer too, was a very big privilege. And trust me, Adunia Day she gave her best. She gets to set by 7 a.m. even before the producer gets to set. That is Adunia Day herself, and I give her that kudos. And she leaves set like very late in the night, back and I'm like, wow. You understand? Shafi Bello was also there, and she was there from the beginning to the end, and she gave us the best. Then Sam Dede, in fact, is a thespian. He gave us his best. Even the day he was supposed to leave, when his contract expired, he still stayed a day or two to see that things were actually done, because he said something, he said he loves the storyline, and it's actually his field, and he feels people should watch this movie and understand what is really happening in institutions. So they were beautiful people on set. And we had Tony Akposheri too on that set. We had Nobet Young, we had Akim Rahman on that set, we had TJ Cole. So it was, in fact, it was wonderful working with these people because they gave us their best. So I felt relaxed.
Having my colleagues graduate and I'm still there in class?
He's not going to get away with it.
And the university cannot afford any further negative publicity.
Yeah, there were 1 or 2 challenges that actually came up. Is normal. The challenge I would say I actually faced as a producer then was getting a school, because this movie is a school community, as in school setting. So getting a school to actually shoot that movie was a bit stressful because most schools were like, sex for what? Sex for marks. The name alone, you know, they won't even take time to understand the details, you know, go through the scripts and all that. They were, sex for sex, you know. But thank God, like 3 days to the production, no, like with Faith, 3 days to the production, we got an institution that actually said, why not? If not, the storyline is good. It teaches students what they need to understand, and even lecturers for us is a good thing. So why come and shoot it here? And that was one of the challenges we had. But every other thing, I would say coming again, the crew. My crew, the crew that worked with me for Sex for Marks, I wish I could still work with those particular crew again. That's the truth, because having people like Teko Benson made me so relaxed. You know, this is a legendary director that has been there for decades, you know, coming on my set as a director. I felt so relaxed. So my crew, the director, the DOP, down to even the welfare, everybody worked themselves out to make sure that the production was successful. So if I have my way, I'll call for them again to work with them.